Good morning and welcome to Our Town at Comma Coffee. This morning we're going to be talking with John McKenna, who's running for Board of Supervisors Ward 3 seat. Right now we're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsor.
What's the role of a healthcare system? Is it to make you better when you're sick? To mend you when you're injured? Are you ready to live healthier? Start today at herestoyourhealth.net, a free service of Carson Tahoe Regional Healthcare.
And we're back and we're talking with John McKenna. Hello, John. How's it going?
It's going well.
All right. So you've thrown your hat into the ring for this Board of Supervisor seat. Why'd you do that?
Well, basically, I believe in public service, and I've been involved with public service as a volunteer since I turned into an adult. It just seems to be the right thing to do, and there's an opening in the Board of Supervisors. I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and I think I can contribute.
Okay. And you've served a long time on the Carson City School Board.
That's correct. 16 years.
Right. And of course, the Carson City School District, that's a pretty good sized entity compared to the city too. It's the
budget's about the same, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller, depending upon how you look at it. The nice thing about the Carson City School District is it's probably the only or one of the only public entities in Nevada that is financially solvent. They have a lot of money because we started saving 7-8 years ago.
All right. So while everybody else is having problems, you guys were doing a little bit better.
Well, we could see that our student population was declining, and when you look ahead and you see that your revenues are not going to be there, you can either put your head in the sand or you can start cutting. And Carson City School District started cutting. The other thing that happened is that we built in frugality into the staff. There's a philosophy there of not spending, and it's really worked out quite well.
All right. Well, now of course the city is having their own budget problems right now, and I mean one could say that it's not the best time to be getting into the city. But what do you think about that?
I think it's probably the best time because all the hard work has been done by the current supervisors, and the next group of supervisors is going to inherit a lean and mean Carson City. And as the revenues turn around, tax revenues start increasing, then if we keep the city at the smallness that it is now, the reduced size that it is now, then we'll have revenue to do new projects. We need to look at everything we do and figure out if that's what we need to do. And if the city wants to, if the taxpayers want the city to do new projects, there'll be revenue for it. Or perhaps we can refund part of that tax revenue back to the taxpayer. Everything's possible.
Yeah. What about a rainy day fund? Is that something that needs to be thought of to try to even out these bumps that we have in the economy?
My program is before any expenditures or new hiring, we increase the reserves back to where they were and increase the reserves back to where we think they should be, because living with a consumption-based tax, the sales tax, you're going to have peaks and valleys, and those peaks and valleys, I'm afraid, are going to become much more steep. And so having savings is probably more important. It's more important for young families, it's more important for old people, and it's definitely more important for the city.
Okay. Now, you're an accountant in your private life, so but this is something, of course, I guess has a bearing on your public service life too.
I have a lot of knowledge about numbers and budgets and management and contracts and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break right now, and we'll come back and talk to you a little bit more. Thanks.
When you walk into a Charlie's Grilled Subs, you walk back in time when subs were made from scratch with premium meats, real dairy cheese, delicious breads, and very fresh vegetables. At Charlie's, what you see is what you get. Grilled live, right in front of you. Nothing pre-cooked or pre-assembled. It's just all good.
It's delicious.
So when you want a fresh, healthy blast from the past, visit Charlie's at the east entrance to the Carson Mall. Your tummy will thank you.
And we're back talking with John McKenna. We had our candidates forum last night, which is Monday night, and one of the big issues, of course, was the Nugget Project, so-called Nugget Project, and that brought out a lot of opinions from the candidates. What was your stand on that?
Well, my stand on the quote Nugget Project is it's not a project yet, it's still a concept. And until we get some details and until some documents and ideas and concepts are reduced to actual things that can be checked, actual contracts, then I think it's just a concept. It's an idea. It may be a good idea. It may be a bad idea. I believe it's an idea that should go to the taxpayers because you're going to be spending a lot of their money, $40-some-odd million of their money.
So a vote should go to a vote of the
I think.
voters.
I don't know about a vote to approve the money, but at least an advisory vote.
Yeah.
I think the city did a good thing in creating a citizen committee to do it, but they should have been done earlier on. They should have vetted the project and said who wants this before saying we're going to do it.
Yeah, because it does seem that they, it's kind of the, at least the supporters of this seem to be, ahead of that whole thing. Let's do it before we actually check everything out.
Well, there's a timeline there, and it said that the developer would be on in March, and they would start building on November 30th. I think that timeline has slipped significantly, and so the slowdown has been good.
Yeah, and I guess there was also a part in there where they were supposed to sign up 3 state agencies to lease parts of the building or something too, I guess.
Yes, that's part of it. Yeah.
So. Then there was the issue that last night they brought up a lot of this public land or the private land that they want to put the library on. The land would be owned by this Nugget Foundation, and you actually have a city library knowledge center sitting on top of this land, and that seemed to bring out a lot of opinions last night.
The problem with not owning the land, the city not owning the land, is if they ever default on the lease or want to walk away from the lease, then the improvements, the buildings, go to the landlord, not to the city. That's why I think that government should always build on the land they own. In fact, there may even be a law that says they have to, but it can be gotten around with contracts and that sort of thing. But you don't plan for the people that you're dealing with today. You have to plan so that the people 40 years from now will have a clear understanding of what the deal was and no way to get out of the deal or no way to lose a public building because you don't own the land.
So, now, what are some other issues besides this Nugget Project you think are important that you want to tackle as a supervisor?
Well, I think just reviewing every position, every function, every service, and seeing if we want them, if we can change them to make them better, or whether or not the city should do away with it. I'll give you an example of a thing called plan check. If I'm going to build a house, I have to have a set of plans. I take it to the city. One of the city employees checks it and then approves it. We could move that out so that the person checking the plans is an independent business that has contracts with the city so that the city knows it's getting the product it wants. That creates a business. It takes away from the tax base, and it allows the person that's buying the house or building the house to pay for the actual plans.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and talking with us this morning.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Our Town at Common Coffee. Please check back again.
Hi, I'm Troy Alfonso, Parts Manager at Capital Ford.
I'm Shel Tingley, Service Manager. Did you know that just 29 miles south of Reno is one of Ford Motor Company's highest rated service departments?
We've earned top honors from Ford for customer satisfaction, the President's Award, so we guarantee to exceed your current expectations.
Feel confident in knowing where to service your Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury.
At award-winning Dick & Penny's Capital Ford, just 29 miles south of Reno.
Now servicing Lincolns and Mercuries.